Hey folks, what's up? This is Adam here. I can't see a guy. Hope you're all having a good day. We're officially in December now, so you can officially say we're in the Christmas season. I know I started reviewing my Christmas movie reviews in like late November, and a lot of people says it was a bit early to do Christmas movies. Well, I've reviewed Christmas movies in the past, where it takes place in the summer, so it doesn't have to be like a certain time of the year to review these movies, because I pretty much watch them all year round. And this movie in particular that I want to review right now, Jingle All The Way, which came out in the year of 1996. It's one of those movies that you can watch all year round and still get a laugh out of it. You can still get it done viewing with shits and giggles and things like that, because this is a great Christmas movie. And I've seen this movie countless times. In fact, I've seen it that many times I could act in the movie myself and play everybody's role. Arnold Schwarzenegger's in this movie, Sinbad. The late, great Phil Hartman, who's no longer with us, he's now passed away. He's in this movie as playing Ted, like the annoying neighbour who has the crush on Schwarzenegger's wife. Liz. But basically what the film is about, Arnold Schwarzenegger plays this guy by the name of Howard, who's a workaholic. And he loves his family, although he doesn't spend much time with them because he's always too busy working or doing other projects. His son Jamie's getting ready for a karate class to get his next belt. And Howard is full of false promises. He promises Liz that he'll be there to see his son win the belt. He makes promises that he'll be on time for Christmas. And he makes all kinds of promises, but he never lives up to them. And his family, especially his son Jamie, is getting really sick of all the excuses, because they give him chance after chance after chance to prove to him that he can be reliable and keep his promises, but he fails every time. And when he fails to turn up for the karate class, after getting stuck in traffic and getting, having trouble with a policeman on the way for speeding, he feels like this is his perfect opportunity to make it up to his son by getting him the main Christmas present that he wants more than anything, which is a Turbo Man doll. And Turbo Man is hot stuff at this time because there's Turbo Man cereal, there's Turbo Man toys, Turbo Man Snickers, everything's all this Turbo Man merchandise, and everyone knows who Turbo Man is. He's like this big action hero on TV that all the kids look up to. And Jamie wants a Turbo Man toy doll for Christmas, just like any other normal kid, including his friend who lives next door, Johnny, who is the son of Phil Hartman in this movie. And he wants a Turbo Man doll, and Howard thinks that this is the perfect opportunity to make it up to his son, and he promises him that he'll get him the doll. But since he was so wrapped up in work, he forgot that he made a promise to his wife Liz that weeks before this he had to get one, because the doll's going to be impossible to find. Because of its popularity, people are buying all these Turbo Man dolls, are flying off the shelves in all the stores. And basically it's about Arnold Schwarzenegger being on this big mission to try and find a Turbo Man doll for his son for Christmas. And while all this is happening, he runs into a postman who's played by Sinbad. It's nice to see Sinbad in there. And he's a father, just like Howard, and again, full of false promises, and he's on a big hunt to get this Turbo Man doll. So basically, you've got Sinbad and Arnold Schwarzenegger going to war with each other throughout the whole film, just to get their hands on a Turbo Man doll, which is literally sold out in all the toy stores. And they're willing to go to extreme lengths in order to get these stores to make their kids happy on Christmas. It's a fantastic Christmas movie. I still get the laughs out of it today. I just got done watching it moments ago. Although there was really no point watching it because I've seen the movie countless times. Still get a kick out of it. Still get my laughs out of it. You know, the whole idea about the neighbour, Phil Hartman's character, Ted, having a crush on Schwarzenegger's wife, Liz, in this movie is hilarious. Although he's a father himself, he's more occupied, and the town people look up to him. He's already brought his son a Turbo Man doll and got it safe under the tree, which later on Howard breaks into the house trying to steal the doll. Proving that, although he can be a bit of an asshole, he's willing to go to extreme lengths just to get his hands on a Turbo Man doll to make his son happy for Christmas. And that's what he ends up doing, basically. So it's a great Christmas movie, full of laughs. It's got a great Christmas atmosphere to it, with all the snow, all the Santa Clauses, all the Christmas music. I mean, I played this movie over and over again. I mean, I mainly remember Schwarzenegger for being an action guy, like in The Terminator or The Running Man or Total Recall and all those other great action movies. So sometimes seeing him in a comedy movie can be sometimes weird at times. But then again, he still pulls it off. I think he's as good as an actor as he is a comedian, like he was in Kindergarten Cop. And those other comedy movies. Junior. Yeah, and those other movies. I mean, throughout the movie, you don't get bored. I mean, throughout the whole movie, like I say, it's Howard and Myron going to war to extreme lengths to get their hands on a toy. They go to toy stores, they're all sold off the shelves. There's a lot of crashing and banging. There's a lot of fighting. A lot of people falling all over each other just trying to get their hands on the doll because every parent is just on one big mission to get this hot selling toy for Christmas for their children. I mean, Howard especially goes through all the rough times. I mean, there's even a scene, where he gets conned by Santa Claus, who's played by James Belushi. James Belushi was in K9. I love the movie K9. That's a favourite of mine. Yeah, he goes into a warehouse where we also have Vern Troyer, who's no longer with us also, who plays one of the little midget people. The Big Show, Paul White from WWE, plays the giant Santa Claus, where he's fighting Arnold Schwarzenegger. It was nice to see him in there. There's even a scene, where they go to extreme lengths by going to the radio station. Myron's threatening to blow up the place with a bomb. Howard's always making these encounters with the police officer he's having trouble with throughout the whole movie, and he's making failed attempts to arrest him. It's a very funny movie, even as to today. I mean, like I said, this movie came out in the year of 1996. And even when you watch it today, you can still get away with the shits and giggles and all the laughs. And it's one movie you can watch all year round. It feels more special when you watch it around Christmas time because it gets you in that mood-lifting movie. I mean, we get horror movies at Christmas, we get comedy films. But if you're after a heartwarming, mood-lifting comedy film to brighten up your Christmas, then I do really recommend this movie, Jingle All The Way. Yeah, because it's definitely got to be up there with one of my favourite Christmas movies of all time. The highlight of the movie, I'd say, is the ending, where Howard gets mistaken for this guy who's meant to be dressed up as Turbo Man for a parade. And of course, he wants to make it to the parade in time because that's another promise he promises his son. The little kid, Jamie, I thought he was a good little actor. He really did a good job of expressing his emotions about his dad, although he loves his dad. He just really wishes he'd tell the truth and keep his promises because he feels let down by him all the time. I like Phil Hartman's performance. Again, I think kudos to all the actors in this movie. You can tell all the actors in this movie were having the time of their life, especially the Santa Claus is in the warehouse, where he gets conned out of that broken Turbo Man doll, and they're all doing the dog pile on him and getting arrested by the cops and all that kind of stuff. So you can tell all the actors were having the time of their lives in this movie, having a good Christmas mood, and they all had a good time working all together. And even Arnold Schwarzenegger's having the time of his life in this movie, So when an actor's having the time of his life in the movie, it makes everything work. The comedy, the action, the surroundings, everything just fits perfectly well. Who can forget the one-liners in this movie? Put that cookie down! Now! Who told you can eat my cookies? You know, because the whole time while he's trying to find the toy, Phil Hartman is around his house, you know, making the Christmas cookies, trying to hit on his wife and all that kind of thing. So that part was pretty funny. But at the end, he gets mistaken for this guy who's meant to be turning up as Turbo Man for the parade, and Arnold Schwarzenegger ends up being the Turbo Man. More comedies thrown together because Myron steals the clothes of this other actor who's meant to be like the mentor, who's Turbo Man's march enemy, and even they end up fighting at the end over the Turbo Man doll. Because the Turbo Man doll appears and you get to pick a kid from the crowd, and when he picks Jamie, Myron tries to steal it from the kid. They go to extreme lengths by climbing on top of a roof, and who can ever forget the comedy scene, you know, with Arnold Schwarzenegger dressed as Turbo Man with a jetpack flying all over the city, you know, crashing into a wall, and throughout it all, Jamie gives the Turbo Man doll to Myron, you know, as like a Christmas spirit moment. He says, why do I need the doll for when I've got the real Turbo Man at home? So there's heartwarming moments in this movie. So despite all his letdowns, despite all his false promises, it just proves that he's got a son who loves him, and the film ends with him carrying Arnold Schwarzenegger around the crowd, cheering him on. And I remember once I played this movie, Jingle All The Way, while I was going on a Christmas holiday to New York with my dad. And I was playing this movie in the aeroplane. And I never knew there was that little scene at the end of the credits, you know, on Christmas Day. Because if you wait till the end of the credits, his wife Liz asks him, what did you get me for Christmas? And it zooms in on Schwarzenegger's face with a shocked look, thinking he's forgotten what to get Liz for Christmas. So I never thought that clip was in there. I thought he just showed the credits and that was it. So when you watch this movie, make sure you see that little scene at the end of the credits, you know. But I remember watching this movie for the first time. I mean, it was my sister. It was again around Christmas time, and this is when Blockbuster Videos was around, you know. And we went in the Christmas aisle section, and you like all the Christmas movies. And we picked one or two Christmas movies. Of course, I was always in the horror section, and my sister wasn't a big fan of horror movies either. My mum absolutely hated them. But my sister was picking out all these Christmas movies for us to watch, and thanks to her, she picked Jingle All The Way. We watched it for the first time, and I really enjoyed it. The laughter and the atmosphere in the room was just so magical, because, like I said, my mother's no longer with us now. She passed away. And we watched them all together as a Christmas family. Because my dad likes Arnold Schwarzenegger, and the heartwarming Christmas atmosphere while we were watching this movie would always hold a special place in my heart, because we was all laughing as a family, and it brings back a lot of memories, you know, this movie. So it's hard not to give this movie a 10 out of 10. You know, there's nothing about this movie that I would have changed. There's nothing about this movie that I wish I could have altered or anything like that. I thought every actor, like I said, had a great time with their roles, acting wise. You know, it's good to watch a comedy film around Christmas time. You know, I mean, there's loads of great Christmas movies out there like Jack Frost and How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Die Hard, although some people argue that that's not a Christmas movie. It's a Christmas movie in my book with Bruce Willis. You know, so loads of good Christmas movies out there, but this one I'd rank it in my top 5. You know, my top 5 Christmas movies of all time, Jingle All The Way. It's a very mood-lifting film. It's suitable for all members of the family also, so it's one I highly recommend. If you've not seen this movie, I don't know where the hell you've been, but for those of you who have not seen this movie, I really do recommend you check it out. There's not many movies I'd recommend people to check out this time of year, because people have different tastes in movies when it comes to Christmas. But if you like to have a laugh, if you like to get in within the spirit, then this movie Jingle All The Way is definitely one that will get you into it. It's just so funny, it's so entertaining, and again, the wars that these parents are going at to get the Turbo Man doll is like a very funny atmosphere, you know, because they're pushing and shoving. There's even a scene, you know, in this movie where they're all fighting over these bouncy balls that have got numbers on them. Whoever picks the right number gets the Windsor Turbine doll, and the parents are crashing through the shopping aisles. Everything's getting destroyed in the process, all because of one plastic doll. You know what I mean? It's a stupid little plastic doll, as as Arnold Schwarzenegger quoted in this movie. So that's my movie review for Jingle All The Way, everybody. One I highly recommend, and definitely got to be one of the best Christmas movies ever. Thanks for watching this, everyone. Email me if you've got any questions, and we'll see where we go from here. Have a great Christmas, everybody. Peace out.